This video offers a fresh and profound perspective on how to live through the lens of Stoic philosophy, helping viewers find success in inner peace without having to constantly chase after the exhausting pace of modern life. Instead of always trying to control outcomes and pushing relentlessly toward goals, Stoicism encourages us to let go of expectations, focus on managing our thoughts and emotions, and trust in the natural flow of life. The video emphasizes that true freedom and success don't come from gripping everything tightly, but from knowing when to let go, when to accept, and when to be patient. By shifting your mindset and aligning your inner world, you'll begin to feel less pressure and more calm in the face of challenges. This is the power of inner mastery, a core value in Stoic thought. At Stoic Journal, every story shared is not only a source of inspiration, but also a valuable lesson on the journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Each day is a new page, a chance to continue writing a deeper, more meaningful life story. Begin this journey of transformation today. 1. Letting go of control, the secret to living more lightly and peacefully. Have you ever felt like you're trying to control everything? Your job, relationships, other people's emotions, your schedule, even the future? We often believe that if everything goes according to plan and meets our expectations, we'll feel more secure and happier. But in reality, the more we try to control, the more exhausted, stressed, and disappointed we become. Sound familiar? You try to do everything perfectly, focus on every little detail, worry about what others think of you, push yourself to achieve certain things at the right time. Then when things don't go as planned, you get frustrated, doubtful, and even blame yourself. That's the trap of over-control. We think we're steering our lives, but in truth, we're being led by fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. The tighter we try to grip, the more we lose our inner peace. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. When people hear let go, they often think it means surrendering or giving up, just letting life happen however it wants. But that's not it. Letting go here means active acceptance, recognizing that there are things we simply cannot control and that it's okay. You can give your best at work, but you can't force others to recognize your efforts. You can love someone deeply, but you can't control their feelings. You can plan for the future, but things may still take an unexpected turn. When we let go of rigid expectations, we become more adaptable. When we stop trying to change others' reactions, we feel lighter. When we trust the process instead of obsessing over the outcome, we start to see the present moment as valuable and worth appreciating. Trust the journey. Letting go doesn't mean doing nothing. It means do your best and then leave the rest to the universe. Life is like a river. If you constantly swim upstream, you'll wear yourself out. But if you observe, adjust, trust, and flow with it, you'll get to where you need to be, even if it's not at the moment you expected. Many people have faced failure, heartbreak, or loss, but they chose to release the past and start again with a renewed mindset. And life brought them surprises, better than they imagined. Peace begins within. Those who know how to let go carry peace inside. They no longer need to change others, don't let success or failure define their self-worth, and aren't so afraid of the unknown anymore. By letting go, you begin to live more authentically. You listen to yourself more, accept everything, joy and hardship alike, as natural parts of life, and you learn to trust that everything comes when the timing and conditions are right. Practice letting go little by little. Instead of worrying, when will I finally succeed? Focus on doing small things well each day. When someone doesn't respond the way you hoped, remind yourself, I'm only responsible for my actions, not for others' emotions. Whenever you feel out of control, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, is this really something within my control? Letting go is a skill, not something you master overnight. But once you truly understand and practice it, life will feel lighter, happier, and you will feel much more free. 2. Stoic philosophy. Happiness begins with controlling yourself. Have you ever felt exhausted because everything around you keeps changing? Work, money, relationships, even the weather? Modern life makes us anxious, confused, and sometimes powerless. Yet more than 2,000 years ago, sages like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus left us one priceless reminder. Don't try to control everything. Focus on the one thing you truly can control: yourself. 1. You can't control the world, but you can control yourself. Stoicism, often called the Stoic philosophy, isn't some dry theory. It's a very practical way of living. The world is always uncertain. People can change, situations can flip at any moment. If we cling to what lies beyond our reach, we only feel tired and disappointed. Epictetus once said, "It's not events that hurt you, but the way you view those events." In other words, the problem isn't what happens, but how you respond to it. 2. Happiness doesn't come from results. It comes from a steady inner core. Many people think, when I earn lots of money, meet my ideal partner, secure a stable job, then I'll be happy. But those things are always changing. If your happiness depends on outside outcomes, you'll stay trapped in an endless race. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote, "A person can remain calm amid every storm if they rule their own mind." You can't steer other people's thoughts, but you can choose your reaction. You can't remake the world, but you can keep composure, reason, and self-respect. 3. Accept what can't be changed. Focus on what you can do. When you fail or hit hard times, do you blame others or curse fate? A Stoic doesn't. They look for the lesson. They know some things aren't in their hands, how others behave, whether the times are favorable. Yet they always return to one question. In this situation, what's the best I can do? That's the strength of inner initiative. It lets you stand firm within, untouched by the chaos outside. 4. Each day just control 3 things. If every day you keep hold of these 3, life gets far lighter. Actions. Live true to your values and principles. Thoughts. Choose a perspective that's positive, realistic, and constructive. Attitude. Stay calm, patient, and avoid knee-jerk reactions. That alone is a giant step towards spiritual freedom. 5. How to practice Stoicism in modern life. Suppose someone criticizes you. Instead of firing back, pause and ask, is there any truth in this? If yes, learn. If not, let it go. When things don't go your way, rather than whining, "Why me?" swap it for, "What can I do right now to improve this situation?" Each morning, try telling yourself, "Today I'll control myself, not the world." Life will always have storms, but you can choose a way of living that keeps your mind light and peaceful. That's the greatest gift Stoic philosophy offers. If life feels too pressured, ruled by emotions or other people's words, try living in the Stoic spirit for 7 days. Nothing grand is needed. Just focus on mastering yourself. You'll be surprised by the change within you. 3. Detaching yourself from the outcome, making the journey more meaningful. Have you ever pursued a goal only to feel burnt out somewhere along the way and forget why you even started? At first, you loved what you were doing, maybe writing, painting, running a business, or going to the gym every day. But the more you did it, the more pressure you felt. Why? Because the results didn't come as quickly as you hoped, because you didn't see any rewards yet. If that sounds familiar, it might be time to learn how to detach yourself from the outcome. 1. The pressure often comes from your own expectations. We live in a world where everyone seems to have a definition of success: making lots of money, having a nice house, driving a luxury car, having a perfect body, being famous, being recognized, and slowly, without even realizing it, we place these expectations on ourselves. You post something online, no one reacts much, and you feel disappointed. You work out hard, but still don't see abs in the mirror, and you feel discouraged. You launch a project, there's no income yet, and you think, maybe I'm doing it all wrong. Here's the trap. We begin to equate our self-worth with external results. And that's when we lose joy, energy, and motivation. Yet, the most valuable part isn't the outcome, but the journey you're on and how you're living each day. 2. Flow. The state where artists create their best work. Picture this: a painter sitting at their easel. If they're constantly thinking this painting has to be perfect, it has to sell, it has to impress, then they'll likely be anxious, hesitant, and struggle to create. But if they think instead, I'm painting because I love it, I want to explore myself through color and form, they enter a powerful state called flow. It's when time seems to disappear, pressure fades, and there's a deep connection between the artist and the canvas. And here's the beautiful part. It's in that flow state that the best work often emerges, because the artist isn't driven by fear or pressure to succeed. They're simply being true to themselves. 3, when you detach from the outcome, you become truly free. But don't get this wrong. Detaching from the outcome doesn't mean being careless or unmotivated. It means you still give your best, but your self-worth isn't measured by numbers or outside approval. You write because you love writing, not to get published or become famous. You learn because you're curious, not just to get a diploma. You run a business because you want to help people, not to prove anything to anyone. When your actions come from within, from a genuine desire to do something, the energy you give off changes. It becomes more authentic, more peaceful, more persistent. 4, truly successful people, they fall in love with the process. Have you noticed? The people who succeed in a lasting way all have something in common. They love the process more than the result. Michael Jordan once said he loved every practice, every game, not just because of winning, but because he felt most alive when he was playing basketball. Steve Jobs built Apple not because he loved money, but because he adored technology and was obsessed with beauty and design. Many world-famous authors spent years writing without publishing anything, simply because they couldn't not write. They didn't succeed because they forced themselves to reach a goal, but because they lived fully in each moment of their journey. And the results came naturally, not as validation, but as a bonus. 5, so how do you practice detaching from the outcome? It's simpler than you think. Start with these questions. When starting something, ask yourself, if no one ever notices or praises me, would I still want to do this? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right path. Focus on daily action. 1 page written, 1 focused study session, 1 deep hour of work, and don't stress over when will this pay off. Remind yourself daily, my value doesn't lie in the result. I matter because I'm showing up fully today. In closing, detaching from the outcome doesn't make you weaker. On the contrary, it makes you freer, more creative, and more grounded in your own growth journey. You are not a number, you are a human, with emotions, passions, and your own unique path. And sometimes the moment you release the pressure to succeed fast, you start doing more amazing things than ever before. So if you're feeling exhausted because you're not there yet, try pausing, taking a deep breath, and asking, am I being true to my journey? If the answer is yes, then congratulations. You're already more successful than most people. 4, letting go of expectations, the secret to attraction and success. Have you ever felt like you're constantly forcing yourself in every relationship? Have you ever made a detailed plan for your life, only for reality to take a completely different turn? Or maybe you've asked yourself, I've tried so hard. Why is it still not turning out the way I hoped? If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone, truly. Many of us are carrying around an invisible backpack full of expectations of ourselves, of others, of the future, of specific results. But here's the irony. The more we expect, the easier it is to be disappointed. The more we try to control things, the more they seem to slip out of our hands. 1, letting go, giving up. Let's get one thing clear. Letting go of expectations doesn't mean giving up or not trying anymore. Not at all. It means you still give your best, but you do it with awareness, with inner strength. Not because you're driven by fear of things not turning out the way you want. You go to work every day and work hard, but you don't pressure yourself like, I must make X amount this year or I'm a failure. You love someone, but you don't demand that they love you back in a certain way. You grow and improve, not to prove something to the world, but because you genuinely want to become the best version of yourself. When you let go of expectations, you experience a kind of freedom that feels very real. And from that freedom, you become more magnetic, more powerful, and success comes to you more naturally. 2. Truly attractive people aren't trying to think about this. Genuinely attractive people, they're different. They don't need to talk a lot. They don't need to show off. They're not trying hard to impress. And yet, you're drawn to them. Why? Because they don't live for validation. They don't squeeze themselves into molds. They don't pressure others. They deeply understand their own worth. And from that place, they radiate a calm, effortless energy that pulls people in. In relationships, the person who gives space and freedom, who doesn't try to control, is often the one others feel most safe and drawn to. Because when you don't try to mold someone into your expectations, you give them room to breathe, to be themselves. 3. Success doesn't always follow your schedule. Maybe you once thought, at 25, I should own a house. At 27, I should be married. At 30, I should be earning 6 figures. But then, life took a turn. You lost your job, you broke up, you started a business, and it failed. You began to doubt yourself. But guess what? Life doesn't follow a fixed roadmap. Some people succeed at 22. Some don't start until 40 and still shine. Some wander for a while and still find the path that's right for them. If you cling too tightly to your ideal timeline, you might miss out on other opportunities. If you focus too much on one destination, you might overlook the door that's opening right beside you. 4. When you act without expectation, results often come unexpectedly. It sounds backward, but it's true. When you do something because you genuinely want to, not because you have to get something from it, you often reach deeper. You write an article, not to chase clicks, but just to share sincerely, and that's the one that touches people. You love someone without trying to possess them, and that gentleness makes them feel safe, valued. You run a business, not from fear of failure, but from faith in your value, and that clarity makes you bolder, more focused, and your customers can feel it. The best outcomes often show up when you're not desperately demanding them to. 5. So, how do you let go of expectations? Here are 3 simple practices you can start today. Return to the present. Stop living in imagined futures. Ask yourself, did I live truthfully today? Did I give my best? Accept all possibilities. No matter the outcome, you are still valuable. Success doesn't define your worth. Trust the process. Even if it's slow, even if it's off schedule, every step you take is bringing you closer to where you're meant to be. Just not always the way you imagined. In conclusion, letting go of expectations doesn't make you weaker. In fact, it makes you stronger, more grounded, more magnetic, because you're no longer dependent on outside validation. You live true to yourself. You're rooted from within, and that is the most solid foundation for lasting success. Remember, stillness is strength. Letting go is the beginning of attraction, and sometimes true success begins the moment you stop trying so hard to be successful. If you're feeling tired from constantly chasing something that never seems to come, try letting go for once. Who knows? Maybe the moment you stop chasing, the good things finally start coming to you. 5. Growth mindset, the key to overcoming challenges and constantly evolving. Have you ever had thoughts like these? I'm not good at this, maybe I shouldn't even try. I've failed, so maybe I'm just not meant for this. Other people have natural talent, but I'm nothing special. If you have, you're looking at life through a lens called a fixed mindset. It might sound harmless, but this kind of thinking is quietly holding you back every single day. And do you know what truly separates those who grow steadily from those who constantly feel stuck? It's not because they were born talented or just luckier. It's because they chose a different perspective, a growth mindset. 1. Fixed mindset versus growth mindset. The real difference lies in what you believe about yourself. A fixed mindset tells you, the way I was born is the way I'll always be. It sounds like I'm just not good at communicating. I'm not cut out for business. I'm not as smart as others. But a growth mindset whispers something different. I may not be good at this yet, but if I keep learning, I'll get better tomorrow. The difference isn't where you start, it's what you believe as you move forward. Who you think you are, that shapes who you can become. 2. Failure doesn't define you, it teaches you something. If you see failure as the end, you'll always be afraid to try. But if you see it as a part of the learning journey, you'll keep going, you'll grow. No one's great on their first try. Even the people you admire, they've stumbled, they've wanted to quit. The only difference? They didn't let failure define their path. Failure isn't a full stop, it's a training ground where you build resilience, patience, and wisdom. And if you approach each challenge with a learning mindset, you'll never walk away empty-handed. 3. One situation, two mindsets, and two completely different outcomes. Imagine two people both fail an important exam. Person A thinks, that's it, I'm not cut out for this. Maybe it's just not for me. So they give up, retreat, stay in their comfort zone. Person B, on the other hand, asks, where did I go wrong? What can I do better? So they study again, train harder, try again, and eventually they pass. Same failure, different mindset, completely different outcome. 4. So how can you build a growth mindset? Start with the way you talk to yourself. Don't say, I can't do this. Try, I can't do this yet, but I'll learn. Don't say, I failed. Say to yourself, I'm learning how to do it better. Try even when it's scary. A fixed mindset will push you to choose what's easy, to avoid feeling embarrassed. A growth mindset will nudge you out of your comfort zone because it knows that only through challenge do you grow. Focus on effort, not just outcomes. When you tell a child, you're so smart, you might accidentally make them afraid to make mistakes. But if you say, you tried really hard, you teach them that effort is what leads to progress, even if today's result isn't perfect. Learn to admire instead of envy. A fixed mindset feels discouraged when others excel. A growth mindset sees inspiration, a mirror to learn from, not a shadow to be afraid of. 5. Growth mindset isn't about being overly positive. It's about taking responsibility. Growth mindset isn't blind optimism. It doesn't deny challenges. It's simply a more empowered way to live. When you face an obstacle, you don't blame, you seek solutions. When you fail, you don't avoid it, you analyze and learn. When someone's better than you, you don't feel threatened, you observe, listen, and grow. A growth mindset doesn't run from reality. It helps you move forward with it. 6. Life isn't a competition, it's a never-ending learning journey. You don't have to be the best to be valuable. You just need to be someone who's willing to keep learning every single day. When you stop asking, am I good enough yet? And start asking, what did I learn today? That's when you truly begin to grow. Conclusion. This world doesn't divide people into talented and not talented. It divides them into two kinds. Those who keep learning, or now, and those who gave up too soon. Which group you belong to is your choice. A growth mindset is the key that unlocks your inner potential, a version of you that might even surprise yourself. And every time you face a new challenge, don't forget to quietly say to yourself, I didn't fail, I'm learning. 6. Living in the moment, coming home to yourself. Ever feel like your brain's been running a marathon since the moment you wake up? You open your eyes, and boom, your heart's already racing just thinking about your to-do list. You sit down for lunch, but instead of enjoying it, you're stressing about the meeting later and whether you're going to get called out. Then at night, when your body wants to rest, your mind hits rewind. Ugh, why didn't I handle that better? So yeah, you're alive, but you're not really living. Your body's here, but your mind, it's stuck in the past or already jumping to the future. And that right there, that's where most of our stress, anxiety, and feeling out of touch with life comes from. So how do we actually live right here, right now? The answer sounds simple, but most of us forget it. Mindfulness, just being present with yourself. 1. So why are we always so anxious? Here's the thing. Most of our worries don't come from what's happening now. They come from stuff that's already over and can't be changed, or from stuff that hasn't even happened and might never happen. You're stressing about whether your boss is going to give you a hard time tomorrow. You're still kicking yourself for missing a chance last year. But stop and look around for a second. You're in a quiet room. Maybe you've got food in front of you, and right this moment, nothing's really wrong. It's your mind spinning stories, and you're getting dragged along for the ride. Mindfulness helps you drop those stories and come back to what's actually happening. Right here, right now. 2. What even is mindfulness? It's not some mystical thing or something only monks or super Zen people do. You don't need to sit cross-legged for hours or go off the grid. Mindfulness is actually super simple. When you eat, you know you're eating. When you breathe, you feel your breath. When you walk, you notice your feet hitting the ground. It's just being fully aware of what you're doing in the moment, without judging it, without rushing through it. Basically, mindfulness is coming back to you instead of getting swept up in the chaos around you. 4. Why bother with mindfulness? It lowers stress and anxiety. You stop spiraling over imaginary stuff. It helps you focus. Doing one thing with full attention equals doing it way better. It helps you sleep. Your brain chills out instead of running loops all night. It helps you understand yourself, so you make better choices that actually fit your life. 5. How to practice mindfulness. No big life changes needed. You don't need to flip your whole life upside down. Just start small. Little moments, fully present. 1 minute of intentional breathing in the morning. Just sit, breathe. That's it. Put your phone away when you're working. Do one thing at a time. No multitasking, no doom scrolling. Do a body scan when you're stressed. Close your eyes. Ask your phone, what am I feeling? Where in my body do I feel tense? Soak in the little things. A sip of tea, a sunbeam, the sound of wind. Just be with them for 10 seconds. These little things, they reconnect you with real life. The life happening now. 6. Mindfulness isn't about escaping life, it's about showing up. A lot of people think mindfulness is about slowing down in a world that's too fast, or checking out from life altogether. But really, mindfulness is about going deeper, not slower. When you work, you really work. When you're with someone, you actually show up. You're still in the middle of life, you're just not drowning in it anymore. Wrapping it up, life's always going to throw stuff at you that you can't control, but you can choose how you meet each moment. And every time you feel lost or overwhelmed, just come back to this one question. What's one small step I can take right now? Sometimes just one deep present breath is all it takes to reset, to get grounded, to see clearly, to feel stronger. Because a meaningful life isn't about how far you go. It's about how present you are with every step you take. 7. Patience, the power of waiting for the right moment. Have you noticed? We're living in the age of instant everything. With just a click, you can order food, book a ride, watch a movie, or buy pretty much anything from anywhere in the world. Everything's fast. And slowly but surely, we've gotten used to that pace. Waiting 5 seconds for an ad? Annoying. A web page takes 3 seconds to load. We close the tab. Someone doesn't text back within 10 minutes. We start overthinking and stressing out. And that "I need it now" mindset, it starts to creep into areas that actually need time. Careers, health, relationships, even the journey of healing ourselves. But here's the truth. Life doesn't work like that. A tree doesn't grow overnight. A child doesn't grow up in a few days. And neither do you. The things you dream of, the ones that really matter, need time to take root, grow, and eventually bloom. You can't force a flower to bloom faster. You can't tell the sun to rise sooner. And you can't demand success to show up before it's ready. Patience isn't about sitting around hoping for luck. A lot of people think patience means just waiting it out and hoping for the best. But that's not it. Patience means you keep showing up day after day, even when you don't see results right away. It's like a farmer planting seeds. They don't dig them up every day to check if they're growing. They trust that if they water and nurture the soil, the plant will grow in its own time. You're no different. Every time you study, practice, improve, even when no one's watching, even when no one praises you, you're building something that just hasn't shown itself yet. Why is patience such a big deal? Because anything truly worthwhile takes time. You won't have a fit, healthy body after just 3 gym sessions. You won't master a skill after 1 online course. The person you admire for being so successful today, they probably spent years working in the shadows before you ever heard their name. Patience is what keeps you grounded when everything around you is telling you to quit. There'll be times when you keep trying and see no results. There'll be times when others move faster or farther. And there'll be days when you ask yourself, what if I'm just not good enough? And right when you're ready to give up, patience is the anchor that holds you steady. It quietly reminds you, keep going, just keep going. You'll get there, sooner or later. So what should you do when the results haven't shown up yet? Go back to the process. Stop obsessing over the finish line. Ask yourself, how have I grown today compared to yesterday? Focus on doing the small things well, because success doesn't come from huge leaps. It comes from thousands of steady steps taken day after day. And every time you feel like giving up, remind yourself, I'm not slow, I'm moving at the pace I need to grow. And don't compare yourself to anyone else. Comparing yourself to who you were yesterday is enough. Everyone has a different starting point, a different path, a different speed. All you need to do is stay steady on your path, and that's more than enough. A lesson from nature, quiet but powerful. Have you ever heard of the Japanese bamboo tree? For the first 4 to 5 years, it looks like nothing's happening. It barely grows above ground. But during that whole time, its roots are quietly growing deep beneath the surface. Then one day when it's ready, it can grow up to 90 feet tall in just a few short weeks. You're like that too. Maybe it feels like you're stuck right now. But what if this is your rooting phase? Quiet, steady, full of potential, getting ready for something big. Final thought, patience doesn't slow you down. It helps you bloom at the right time. If you're on a journey, learning, building your career, healing, finding yourself, and you feel like you're too slow, like you're falling behind, remember, you're not slow, you're incubating. Your results will come, not too early, not too late, but right on time when you're strong enough, wise enough, and deep enough to receive them. 8. The universe responds to your energy. Have you ever noticed it's not really what you say that the universe responds to? It's the energy you're putting out. Think about it. Ever tried really hard to hold on to someone, only to watch them pull away even more? Ever been so worried about failing that everything starts falling apart, even when you've prepared perfectly? And on the flip side, remember those times when you were calm, relaxed, and somehow everything just worked out? That's not luck. That's energy. And the universe is constantly responding to the energy you radiate. Energy can't be seen, but it's always there. Every single one of us carries a personal energy field. It's not mystical or woo-woo, it's simply the vibe people feel around you and the way you feel about yourself. You've felt this before. Someone walks into the room with quiet confidence. They haven't even said a word, but you can feel their presence. Now think of someone who's anxious. No matter what they say, something just feels off. Energy doesn't come from what you say. It comes from what you believe deep down. When you're desperate, you create resistance. Here's the thing. When you crave something too intensely, love, success, money, you often start giving off a vibe of stress and lack. Like when you text someone and immediately start obsessing over when they'll reply. That anxious energy can feel heavy and push people away. You're trying to sell something, but the desperation in your pitch makes people uncomfortable, and they back off. The tighter you hold on, the more things slip away. The more afraid you are of losing something, the more you emit the energy of lack. The universe isn't punishing you. It's simply reflecting back the energy you are sending out. But when you're calm, things shift. Think back to a time when you finally gave up control and things just clicked. You stopped chasing love, and suddenly the right person showed up. You stopped forcing success, and a new opportunity appeared. You stopped stressing about the outcome, and somehow it all worked out easier than expected. That's the shift from fear-based energy to energy grounded in trust and sufficiency. So how do you shift from anxious to aligned? Do what you can, then release the outcome. You're not meant to control everything. Just take focused, intentional action, and let the universe take care of the rest. If you've planted the right seeds, give them time. They will grow. Stay in the present. Worry lives in the future. Regret lives in the past. Ask yourself daily, what can I do right now to feel a little lighter? That could be a few deep breaths, a 10-minute walk, turning off your phone and playing music, or sending someone a kind message. Your energy shifts with small actions. Swap want for choose. Instead of saying, I want us to be successful, which sounds needy, say, I choose to take daily action towards success. That shift in language creates a stronger, more empowered energy. Trust is your greatest power. There will be times when you're doing everything you can and still not seeing results. That doesn't mean you've failed. It just might not be time yet. The universe always answers, just not always in the or the timing you expect. Trust doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means taking action while believing that good things are on their way. In the end, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. If you're constantly afraid of not having enough, you'll always feel like something's missing. If you keep thinking you're not enough, you'll keep meeting people in situations that make you feel that way. But if you act from a place of enoughness and inner strength, you'll notice things start to shift around you. So be the kind of person you want to meet. Live as if what you desire is already making its way to you, because the energy you radiate is an invitation to the universe. So send out the most beautiful invitation you possibly can. If you found value in today's lesson, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share to spread this life wisdom to more people out there. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, because every experience holds a lesson. This is Sage Life Lessons, where we learn together how to live wisely and stand strong in a chaotic world.